Creepers and geekers, Chris, the Atari Creep. How is everyone doing today? Oh, let me take a sip of my coffee here. Hold on. It's been a couple months since I've done a pickup video, so I figured, what the heck? I got quite a few things here to show off to you. Unfortunately, not a lot of video games, so if that's what you're here for, I'm going to do those last, just so you could either A, watch the entire thing, or B, just fast forward to the video games. I know it's not the end of March, and I'm doing this for February and March, and maybe I should hold off. I don't know. I'm not going to, though, because I do have a couple things in the works. I got a couple games from one guy, I got a system and games from another guy, and then another system that's being gifted to me for a favor that I did for him or something like that needs to make its way down here. But I'll put that all in another video. For right now, we're basically going to focus on mainly toys and stuff like that. And one movie. And that's pretty much how these things are going to go from now on. I collect more than just video games. You all know that. And now that my channel is more rounded to reflect that, anytime I do a pickup video, it will always be a mosh posh of all of the above. So now that you get it. So if you're really here just to see what video games I got, by all means, fast forward to the end. I'll try to remember to put a timestamp code to reference it. Probably will forget anyway. But yeah. So let's just get right to it. First off, I picked up 3 more of these T800 Kenner action figures from 1991. I have no desire to pick up any more from this line, aside from just the T800s and whatever variants. They also had like a glow-in-the-dark one that was partially black, and some of it glowed in the dark, and that one was pretty cool. I don't have one yet. I just have 3 of these exact ones, and I am building an army. Normally, I don't subscribe to that kind of collecting because I don't want to keep things out of the hands of people and raise up the prices. But this just screams to be an army, much like, stormtroopers. Plus, they're cheap right now. They're not very desirable. So I've been trying to get my hands on as many as I can. I've been getting lucky. I got one on eBay for a penny. $4 shipping, but it was still a penny. The other one I got locally from a guy. He had to mail it to me, though, because he was on the other side of the state for $5. And the other one I found by accident at this weirdo toy store at a mall while we were doing Girl Scout cookie sales at a booth for like $2.50. You can't go wrong with these. But yeah, I'm hoping to have a huge army of these, here in the future and everything. If you notice, I've been numbering the feet on the bottom so I can determine which one came when. And yeah, so I'm really happy to have these guys. I love these. These are great looking action figures. Very chunky, and we may do a review of them here pretty soon. A couple of these Hot Wheels TIE Fighters. We got these at the grocery store. My old lady surprised me with these one day coming home with groceries. Not only did she buy some yum food, but she came home with these. One thing I fucking love is a really good hot dog. What you would consider, I guess, a gourmet hot dog, if those two words even go together. But anything wacky like this, I just have to have. And this was also picked up at the same grocery store. It's a hot dog race car. I plan on doing a video on this alone because there's a lot of really cool features to this I really just want to talk about. I don't collect Hot Wheels. I piecemeal everything I collect anyway. Some people collect action figures and they collect nothing but, all just whatever they can get their hands on. I'm very selective about it. Same with stuff like Hot Wheels and stuff like that. Movie I picked up in the past couple of months. I'm very selective about what ones of these I pick up too. I don't collect video anymore. It's Blade Runner 2049. Such a fantastic movie. I would say movie of the year. It surpasses the Star Wars tenfold, in my opinion. Such a fantastic movie. Won a couple of awards, but didn't do well in the theater. I don't get it. I know people like dumbed down movies. And to most, this would probably be just a long, drawn-out, just visual kind of deal. Such a great movie. It expands the story perfectly. I already did a video on it. So, if you really want to know more about the movie and you haven't seen it, there's plenty of reviews out there. I even did one. And yeah, that's it. So this is the only movie I picked up. Blade Runner 2049. Fucking awesome movie. Watch it now. It doesn't get more random than this. Not that I don't collect Star Wars stuff, but I found this guy on the side of the road on my way home from an appointment. And yeah, apparently it's a Target exclusive Shadow Trooper. I don't know anything about these things. I watch the movies and that's it. But it's 5 points of articulation: the head, the arms, and the legs. Nothing crazy like my Death Trooper is. That thing's amazing. So I may do some joint stuff like here as soon as I get a weapon for him, because I don't have the weapon. Oh yeah, his wrist turn. I didn't realize that. But I might work on the joints and give him a better pose that way once he has a weapon in his hand. But either way, you know, it didn't take anything away from me, and it's pretty cool to put on the shelf. 12-inch 1/6 scale figures. This is technically a 13-inch figure, but it's the same scale. And I picked this up. This was crazy. I was just on Craigslist looking for those Terminator figures, those little ones. And this popped up for $5 freaking in town. So I messaged her, and me and my buddy were going back and forth, hoping this person would message me back. And by the end of the day, she did. And I went and picked it up $5. $5 for this huge thing. The base takes battery. I did a whole video on it. It's a shitty looking video, but if you want to look for it, go ahead. It should be in my playthings playlist. You put batteries in it, it makes these awful sounds. So I don't have batteries in it. I don't care about that. It's just going to remain a statue thing. There's two things wrong with it. One of the pegs on the base were broken, and the tip of this gun is broken off, which I could easily repair with something. I just haven't. I don't care about that right now. It looks really great on the shelf. And if you know anything about me, you know I love the Terminator. So when I saw that for $5, it was a no friggin' brainer. So I know if you follow me or you're subscribed, you know all about all of this. But since I picked it up, I figured I'd talk about it at least a little bit. My buddy Mike over at Earmo Custom Models sent me an early birthday present. These two guys, I knew this was coming. There was damage to it, and he just didn't want it around the house anymore. So he says, hey, I'm going to give it to you. You work on it. Do whatever you want with it. Stick it up your butt. I don't care. Actually, I think he wants me to stick it up my butt and make video of it so he can make fun of me. But that's not going to happen, Mike, you sick fuck. Of course, we know this. There's a couple of videos on this. The build of my face hugger. I'm waiting on something before I work more on it. So you're going to just have to be patient. And he also sent me separately a complete airbrush kit to get me started with airbrushing. So again, Mike, thank you so much. And yeah, I can't wait to get this going. Now let's talk about the Alien Warrior a little bit real quick. This should be its own video. And I actually did start doing a slideshow and video, but I got rid of it. Too many fucking projects on my channel that are going neglected. So I'm just going to do this one as a side project and maybe talk about later on. But one of the things that was really wrong with it is it didn't have a tail. The tail broke off, and I guess he lost it. So I found this rat tail. It's posable from a rat skeleton that I'm using, again, for a project I haven't followed up on. My Stranger Things demo dog, Dart, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe I should get started on that here pretty soon. But this was the remainder of the tail that I'm not using, and it just happened to work perfectly. I just have to embellish it and then paint it again. The other thing I've done is, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a cut line right here. He had this original weird forward crouch that just looked stupid. You couldn't see his face when he was posed. So I just cut into his back and just brought the body upright and then put a ton of epoxy in here and held it. I held this thing for like 5 minutes, and then I wrapped rubber band around it as a clamp and let it sit for 24 hours. So now he has a much better pose. And he actually just got his ass kicked in what I call 5-inch Mortal Kombat over on Instagram. In my stories, I've been pitting up my action figures in Mortal Kombat and letting you vote on it. And he just got his ass handed to him by Vader, which reminds me I got to put up a new one and figure out who's going to fight Vader now. But long story short, you got to go to my Instagram, the Atari Creep, and be part of that. It's going to be going on for a little while. I got a whole bunch of action figures here, for fuck's sake, that I have to fight. So, yeah, so I was pretty happy to have that. I'm glad it's coming along. I just need to finish it up and make a diorama for it. Maybe the diorama will be the video. And since I mentioned my birthday, I know I did 3 videos showing these things, but why not just put them in here? Vinyl Pop Figures, the 8-bit Freddy and Jason. I'm going to just call them the NES Freddy and Jason. The Emperor versus Yoda, Hero Mashers action figures, and a bunch of grocery games. Before we get to the few video games I did pick up, if you follow me on anything, even on here, you know I've been on a big He-Man and the Masters of the Universe kick. You're probably sick of seeing them. But I've been getting really lucky, and 5 seems to be the number. $5 seems to be the number that I've been at. And it's funny when I'm collecting things, that seems to happen a lot. And I've been getting really lucky. These things are super expensive out there. And I'm getting extremely lucky with these. So I couldn't be more thrilled to have these. There's a reason why I've been picking them up lately. Not so much just to fulfill another recent itch. There's something to it. And the $5 Well, we'll start with this. I got him on Valentine's Day for $5 from a guy in Cambridge. Um, he has his armor, but none of his accessories, and the armor's not snapped. And his legs may be a little bit wobbly, but he will stand up with no problem, and he stays standing up. So I'm happy with that. I can always fix the legs later. But this started the whole thing. I just saw that, and I was like, hey, I offered the guy $5 for it, because he had this in a huge lot of different action figures for like 20 bucks. He was like, yeah, go ahead and come pick it up. And it really, I'm going to have to make a whole video on this. It opened up a floodgate. And there's a reason why I'm really into picking these up. And it's actually kind of emotional. We won't get into that. But long story short, I picked up He-Man for $5, and I was so stoked. About a week later, that same guy posted another lot of action figures. And he had 3 Masters of the Universe figures in there. Now, mind you, the whole lot that he wanted was like 25 bucks. So I said, hey, I'm basing my offer on how much you want for everything. Can I give you $5 for those 3 Masters of the Universe figures? And he said, yeah, no problem. I was like, what? So I went back to his place that next couple days, and I picked up Too Bad, Mantenna. I love this figure. This figure is friggin' amazing. And Mecha Neck. I have to repaint him. I'm going to repaint him pretty soon. These guys don't have any of their accessories or weapons or anything like that. So I don't care about that. They look cool on the shelf. They're psychedelic as fuck. And I don't care. A kid I grew up with, I went to high school with, said that he had 2 from his childhood. And so now we're at $10. 5 for 3, 5 for 1. And he said, throw $10 my way and I'll give you what I have. So they're $5 each also. Most of Moduloc and Webster with the little dealio there. Did he have a weapon? I don't remember. But he has his armor and he has his, what the hell is that? Grappling hook. Moduloc doesn't have as much as he probably should. I do have a couple extra of these. And I've actually been doing a lot of research on Moduloc, and I seem to have extra pieces. So I don't know if maybe he had 2 at one point and just kind of mixed them up together and this is what was left of everything. Or if there was different versions of them. I don't know a lot of the history of the toys themselves. I just know the cartoon was great and the figures are awesome. And I'll eventually get a complete Moduloc. But long story short, bam, those are $10 for the 2 of them. And just yesterday, there was a guy who's fairly local. He had a whole box of them. And I wish I could have picked them all up because he had pretty much everything in that box was something I needed, with the exception of Webster. And if I had the money, I would have picked them all up. But he offered me these 2 for $10, and they are complete. So we did a trade, really. So I'm going to call these at $10. I got Manny Faces with his gun. Super clean, no loose legs. Really great find. And Buzz Off with his axe and his, what I'm calling reverse Mickey Mouse ears. God, these figures are so great. So recap, $5, 5 for 3, $10 for 2, and another $10 for 2. So I'm walking in at about $5 a figure. And I couldn't be more happy with that. So that's my entire He-Man Masters of the Universe collection, with one exception. I know what you're saying. Chris, did you pick up a He-Man Atari game because you've been collecting He-Man figures? Well, not necessarily. If I wasn't collecting He-Man figures, I would have still picked this up. I'm trying to get an M Network collection, a full subset. And I'm down to 6 now that I need. And this just happened to be in a shop that I've been doing a lot of trades with. As a matter of fact, all the games I'm going to parade in front of you are from this shop in trades. 2 of the games, I believe the next 2 I'm going to show you, I actually came away with a few bucks, and that's when I got the He-Man figure. It was all done on Valentine's Day. But this was just a nice, happy coincidence that now I'm into the Masters of the Universe stuff, that I was able to pick this up for my M Network collection. Next game is an Intellivision game. I don't have an Intellivision system right now, but Beam Rider seems to be one of those games on the Atari that keep eluding me. And I hear this is a much better port, too, for the Intellivision. So I do plan on eventually having an Intellivision. And I saw this, and again, it went with a trade deal, and I came back with some money, too. So I couldn't pass it up. The next 2 are Master System games. Ghostbusters and Choplifter. So nothing in here is anything you haven't seen if you're not following me on Instagram. And for that, I apologize. But that is everything for February and half of March. I got a few more things planned. I got a couple more Master System games planned. I have some Atari stuff hopefully coming my way. It's just one of those, hey, let's do this. Okay, we're not going to talk for a while. Hey, did you find it? No. And, going back and forth. And one guy's got to actually travel to get something to me. And I'm okay with that. I just wish I had it for this video, but it'll be for the next one. So, guys, what is your pick of the litter here? What do you think is awesome? I think the He-Man stuff and, of course, my Terminator 13-inch $5 figure. $5 seems to be the key number for everything. God damn. Look at all this useless plastic I didn't pay more than $30 for. I didn't pay anything for these games. I just traded. Amazing stuff. So, guys, thanks as always so much for watching. I know this was a super duper long one. And if you're here for the video games, I'm sorry it was like a letdown. It was like, when I was in junior high trying to be with a girl. It was always a letdown for her. But I don't know. We won't go there. This ain't going to become a therapy session. So, guys, let me know what your pick of the litter is. And thanks as always for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. More content is coming, I promise. I'm not going to follow any schedule, though. So, guys, take care, be well, and until next time, bye-bye.